Hello, my name is Terry Petrie, and I am the co-writer and director of the production, Echoes of American Slavery.
I am Adam Slee, co-writer and producer. I stumbled upon the slave narratives, pitched the idea to Terry Petrie, and from there the production was born.
Echoes of American Slavery represents the stories and voices of former slaves.
What you are about to see in this stage production are the narratives of actual events from American history as told by those that experienced slavery.
The blood of these slaves is now a part of the soil of this nation.
Swing low, my sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home. Swing low, my sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home. Swing low, my sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home. Swing low, my sweet chariot. Hey, I just wanna go home. Swing low, sweet chariot, and carry me home. Come on and swing down, chariot, stop and let me ride.
Swing down, chariot, stop and let me ride.
Why don't you rock me, Lord?
Come and easy.
I
got a home on the other side.
6 white horses prancing side by side.
6 white horses prancing
Oh,
side by
I want you to rock me, Lord.
Come and easy.
I've got a home on the other side. Swing low, and let me ride. Swing low. Well, Ezekiel went down in the middle of the field, said he saw an angel with a chariot wheel. Wasn't too particular about the chariot wheels, he just wanted to know how the chariot feels. Swing down, chariot, stop and let me ride.
Swing down, chariot, stop and
Oh,
let me
rock me,
ride.
Lord, come and easy. A home on the other side. Swing low, and let me ride.
Won't you let me ride?
Well, Ezekiel went out and he got on board. Chariot went a-rocking right on down the road. Wasn't too particular about the rocky road. He just wanted to lay down his heavy load. Swing down, chariot, stop and let me ride.
Swing down, chariot, stop and let me
I
ride.
want you to rock me, Lord.
Come and easy.
Hey.
I got a home on the other side.
I've got a home on the other side.
Other side.
Got a home on the other side.
Got a home on the other side.
Got a home on the other side. Got a home on the other side. No more pain on the other side. There's no more sorrow on the other side. No more trouble on the other side. There won't be any tears on the other side. And no more fear on the other side. Got a home on the other side. Got a home on the other side.
Slave narratives are a magic picture window. Their bittersweet panoramic view of what America did to itself is full of sorrow and joy, vision and paradox. However frightening, this window view reveals some of the first pages of our American way of life. Americans are a people who suffered from double vision. Simultaneously, we espoused that all people are created equal, yet made white Americans far more equal than everyone else, with black Americans not legally considered human at all. American slavery needs to be examined and re-examined, not to perpetually retry ourselves for past crimes of inhumanity, but to remain ever vigilant, as watchmen on the tower, alert to the doings of its current descendants. The more we understand man's inhumanity to man, the more we might avoid doing any version today, especially when we feel enlightened to allow introspection. The pollution of American slavery is gone. Much of the segregation that followed is gone. Some prejudice is gone. Yet few African Americans will proclaim that their pursuit of happiness is as discrimination-free as the typical white American. Racial discrimination is a social flu that African Americans have learned to live with. It is a common weather pattern whose reign inhibits us all. Look, listen, and learn from slave narratives. Look through the voices of former slaves and learn from their stories, from their own words, painted in the vivid colors of first-person authenticity.
As a rose growing in the midst of the mire, these former slaves tell tales of wickedness, wonder, wisdom, and the whimsical. Listen to their voices through the window they have given our minds. We might be shamed. We might be surprised. Yet we will surely be enlightened by their human spirit, by their incredible pursuit of happiness.
Dear Lord, oh, do remember me, oh, way beyond the blue. Dear Lord, oh, do remember me, dear Lord, oh, do remember me, dear Lord, oh, do remember me, away beyond the blue, away beyond the blue.
Ooh la, la la, ooh la. pass down the earth.
Memories mean that once I lived, I was alive, but now I only survive.
I live, but where is my place?
I smile, but is this my face?
I cry, but where are the tears?
I die the death of no fear.
I remember when I was a little boy, about 10 years, the speculators come through Newton with droves of slaves. And they always stay at our place. The poor critters nearly froze to death. And they always come on the last day of December so that the niggas would be ready for sale on the first day of January.
Many a time I see 4 or 5 of them chained together, and they ain't never had enough clothes to keep a cab warm.
The woman never wore anything but a thin dress and a petticoat and one underwear.
I've seen the ice balls hanging from the bottom of their dresses as they ran along.
Just like sheep in the pasture before they were sheared.
Never wore any shoes, just run along on the ground all spewed with ice.
The speculators always rode on the horses, and they just drove the poor niggas.
Them slave days.
Now, where there is so much racket, there must be something out of kilter. What's all this talking about?
Why, we just talking about them slave days.
Them slave days.
Them
Them slave days.
Them speculators.
And them awful slave auctions.
I remember the one between 18 and 30. Always bring the most money.
And the auctioneer, he stand off at a distance, and he cry 'em off as they stand on the block.
I can hear his voice as long as I live.
Now, gentlemen and fellow citizens, here I have a big black buck Negro. He's as stout as a mule, good for any kind of work, and never gives any problems. How much am I offered for him?
The nigger would be sold to the highest bidder.
Now, how much am I offered for him? How much? Sold. Here I have a nigger wench. How much am I offered for her?
The poor thing just standing on the block, shivering and shaking, nearly froze to death.
Now this is a hard-working nigger wench. How much am I offered for her? How much? Sold.
Those were the slave days. Those were the slave days. Those were the slave days. Nobody knows
I'm going to read from the account given by Delia Garlick as interviewed by Margaret Fowler. Delia was 100 years old at the time of her interview.
Slavery days was hell. Babies were snatched from their mothers' breasts and sold to speculators. Children were separated from sisters and brothers and never saw each other again. Of course they'd cry. You think they'd not cry when they're being sold like cattle? It's bad to belong to folks that own your soul and body, that can tie you up to a tree, with your face to the tree and your arms tight and fast around it, who take a long curling whip and cut the blood every lick. Folks a mile away could hear them awful weapons. They're a terrible part of living. I was the youngest of 13 children. I never seen my brothers and sisters, except Brother William. Him and my mother and me was brought in a speculator's drove to Richmond and put in a warehouse with a drove of other niggers. Then we was all put on a block and sold to the highest bidder. I never seen Brother William again. Mammy and me was sold to a man by the name of Carter, who was the sheriff of the county. There wasn't no good times at his house. He was a widower, and his daughter kept house for him. I nursed for her, and one day I was playing with the little baby. It hurts his little hand and commenced to cry. And she whirl on me. She picked up a hot iron and run it down my arm and hand. It took off the flesh when she done it. After a while, Master married again, but things were no better. I seed his wife blackening her eyebrows with smut one day, so I thought I'd black mine just for fun. I rubbed some smut on my eyebrows and forgot to rub it off again. When she caught me, she was powerful mad and yelled, "You black devil, I'll show you how to mock yours better." Then she picked up a stick of stove wood and flails it against my head. I didn't know nothing more till I came to lying on the floor. I heard the missus say to one of the girls, "I thought her thick skull and cap of wool could take it better than that." I kept on staying there. One night the master come in drunk with his head lolling around. I was waiting on the table, and he looked up and he seen me. I was scared, and that made him awful mad. He called an overseer and told him to take her out and beat some sense into her. I began to cry and run into night. But finally, I came back by the quarters and heard my mammy calling me. I went in, and right away they come for me. A horse was standing in front of the house.